Hello, this is an introductory video about the Independent Novel Project. The assignment here is linked in the agenda. It's also under modules. It's also linked from the homepage of my Canvas course. So here's what the assignment looks like. You will be doing two of these, so I'm just going to talk about the first one, but they are basically the same thing. Your first independent novel project is due March 23rd, towards the end of this marking period. The directions are here, so I'm going to open them up. But the first thing I'll say is that you are going to choose a novel, choose a book to read, mostly outside of class. That's why it's independent. And I have a couple of stipulations about this. For the first marking period, I ask that you read a book that is nonfiction, or not false, or true. A true book. So for nonfiction, this can be a memoir, an autobiography, an informational book, it could be historical, it could be self-help. Those are nonfiction. You have a lot of options, and you will see some at the library, and it can be from home, it can be from a friend. I don't care where it's from, but I do ask that it is nonfiction. I also do not want it to be specifically made into a movie. If you have a nonfiction topic, such as snowboarding, there are snowboarding videos and movies that exist, but I mean like the exact storyline. Because there are true stories that people tell about their lives, like a memoir, and sometimes they'll turn that into a movie. So I ask that it's not a movie. I want it to be more than 150 pages in length, so longer than that. And the last bullet point says that it is grade appropriate. If you're not sure what that means, you can think about it in terms of Lexile. Once you take your Achieve pretest, you'll see what your Lexile is, and it should be similar to what your Lexile, the Lexile of the book, and you can look up books on the websites I linked to you. Or grade appropriate just means that it's difficult enough for you to make it interesting, but not too difficult that it's impossible. You can ask me about this, but please don't do like Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something that you would have read in a younger grade. Okay. So you choose a book, and what you do with that, I'm going to open up the directions to talk about this. You're going to do two things with the book. The first thing is a double entry journal. This you can double as your blog posts, which I can explain. But either way, you will be doing a double entry journal. You'll either do it per week, or you'll give me a whole chunk at the end. So what this looks like, double entry journal, meaning there are two entries, a left side, see down here, where you quote from the book. An actual quote with a page number from the book. And then on the right side is your response, or your reaction, or your connections. You're going to talk about the quote in some way. So things that you can do on the right side, your response could be connecting the book to a keystone word we studied in class. If you're doing your blog posts, that's what I ask of you for your keystone grade and your blog post grade. So I have the example down here. Like a keystone word last week was reading strategy. So you could talk about a reading strategy, and then this week there's one about explaining, so you could use the word explaining correctly. So that's how you would use the double entry journals as your keystone quiz and blog. You would just post this chart. Or to respond, you may also, if you're just doing it as a normal double entry journal, make a prediction, ask a question, make a connection to your life, the world, and other text. Summarize a difficult passage, make an inference, define a difficult word, analyze the literary devices such as metaphor, simile, personification, or allusion, analyze the characters, plot, conflict, setting, or theme, describe how the quote makes you feel. Some of these will not apply to your nonfiction book, some of them may. So you're just showing me that you're actively thinking about what you're reading. So that's the first 50 points. Just that writing. One helpful skill I have found as you are reading, you might want to have post-it notes on hand and put post-it notes on the spot that you know you want to respond to later. And then when you actually go to write your double entry journal, then you have all these quotes ready to go, and you just need to sit down and type or handwrite them. Okay, the second part is you are going to share out your books to the rest of the class. And what I would like you to do, if at all possible, is to make a movie in Movie Maker, which I can teach you all how to do if you don't know how. But your movie can be any of the following items. It could be an advertising commercial. If you were going to turn your book into a movie, what would the commercial look like? You can create a collage of images or quotes. Design a news report like breaking news. What articles could you write about the book? A travel brochure, such as selling the destination that your book takes place, so like, come to the Grand Canyon. Write and perform a monologue from the perspective of a character, that's a speech. Create a soundtrack for the book, like how movies have soundtracks. So choose songs that relate to what goes on. You don't have to actually make the song, and you don't have to actually play the songs, but you can if you want to, but at least choose them and explain why. Write a comic strip about what is going on in the plot, at least 8 frames, I said. Film a book trailer to sell the book, like why everyone should go out and read that book today. Or create an original song and or music video about some element of the book. So those are 9 options, all of which you can do in Movie Maker, and that's the second 50 points. So how this is graded, the rubric is there, but I also have a document. So 10 points is your presenting, whether that be written in the double entry journal or spoken in your movie. So you are speaking correctly and clearly. You meet the requirements, so it's 50 double entry journals, you have page numbers, you have a title. If it's the movie, it's, I forget what I said, 2 to 5 minutes, I think, etc. Project is neat. Use good quality pictures, your handwriting or your typing looks good and even. In relation to the novel, you include the novel title. It's clear that you were thinking about the whole novel and not just the beginning. And evidence of reading, you show that you read all of it. You didn't just read 5 pages and do 50 journal entries based on those 5 pages. So that's how I'll grade each section, 50 points each for a total of 100 project points. So that is your independent novel project. In the... I can't get back to it. In the next marking period 4, you'll do fiction, but for this one you'll do nonfiction. So choose a book, begin reading it, and if you want to do your double entry journal as blogs, you need to start right away. Because it'll even out to be 50 entries as a blog if you do each Keystone term each week. Alright, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck and have fun.